Hi everyone, my name is Tamara, and this is episode 14 of the Caffeinated Craft Mamas podcast. My podcast all about my knitting, crocheting, and bookish life in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my partner Richard, our 3 kids, and our dog. I hope you all are doing well. It has been 2 weeks. It is a somewhat rainy and somewhat cool day here in Southwest Missouri today, and so I thought I'd go ahead and get a podcast recorded. It is Thursday, September 30th, so Vlogmas starts tomorrow. Not Vlogmas, my goodness. Vlogtober. Fast forwarding too quickly through the seasons here. Vlogtober starts tomorrow. I'm going to attempt to participate, but it will probably only be weekly vlogs versus daily vlogs. Quite honestly, my life is not as exciting as some other people's, and it would be rather boring to see a daily video of me knitting and watching random movies. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting episode. I'm gonna just get this recorded really fast and hopefully get it edited and posted today. I meant to record on Tuesday, and I picked up William while he was asleep on the couch, and because I'm not 20 anymore, I hurt myself. So I have been laid up with a bad back. So if I wiggle or make any funny faces, it's probably just because my back is bothering me. In fact, it's been bothering me bad enough I haven't been able to run, so hopefully it will be better by Saturday so I can get in my training run for the day. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I have 2 finished objects, I have a half object, I have 4 works in progress to talk about, I have a what am I wearing, and a couple books to talk about as well. And I'm on a little bit of a time crunch, so we're just gonna get boogieing. What I am drinking is what we will start with. This was a wonderful invention by my friend Melissa. She came over for tea on Monday. I posted a picture on Instagram about it. We watched Sense and Sensibility and drank tea and had scones and were very British and proper, and we were knitting. And I have some of the Tazo's Classic Chai, and then I have some of the Chobani's oat milk pumpkin spice creamer. So we made pumpkin spice chai tea lattes. And it was so good. And so after my coffee this morning, I made myself one. It's still really hot, so I'll just be sipping on it throughout the episode. And then as you can see, I have one of my Halloween mugs out, and it matches my nails. Makes me so happy. So it has been ungodly hot here in Southwest Missouri. It has been awful. Yesterday was 85, and that was a cooler day for us recently. It got up to 90 on Monday, and it has just been horrible. But this weekend we're supposed to have another downward tip, and hopefully it will be, I think next Monday is supposed to be like a high of 72. I'm so excited. Get to be outside all day. So since we're talking about the gross weather and how hot it is, I've got the AC cranked up high, so you might be able to hear it in the background. But I want to talk about what I'm wearing so I can take it off. This is my pajama cardigan. This is a test knit I did for Judy over at the Autumn Acorn last year. I did it last fall. So it's got this fun detail on the sleeves, and that is on the pockets, and then on the back I'll throw in some of my test knit pictures that I took last year. And I've got thumb holes because thumb holes are life. I love sweaters with thumb holes. I knit this out of Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek in the colorway Cedar. I believe it took me 3 balls. That yarn comes in like 400 yards per ball of yarn. So I was able to get 3 of them and knit this sweater. It's probably one of my favorite sweaters that I own. I wore it pretty much nonstop last year. And it is knit in pieces and then seamed together. So for me to be boasting about a sweater that's knit in pieces and seamed together, you know it's a good pattern. I really enjoyed test knitting for Judy. It was a lot of fun. And I am looking forward to the weather being cool enough to where I can actually wear this sweater. So let me pull this off. I don't think I said this, but I'll go ahead and say it now. If you would like to follow me on social media, please feel free to do so. I'm really only active on Instagram. You can find me there as the caffeinated _craft_mama. And I try to post there 2 to 3 times a week. And all notes about all things that I talk about will be in the drop down box below. So I wanted to show you guys real quick. There's the back, that slip stitch back pattern. So, and it has pockets. Yay for pockets. They make me happy. So really a cardigan without pockets doesn't make sense to me. So even if the pattern doesn't call for them, a lot of times I end up adding them anyway. Okay, let's get started with finished objects. I have 2. I'll do the big one first. I finished Benjamin's blanket. This is just a giant Grandma's Everyday, or Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by PJ Allen. I just increased until I'd used half the yarn I wanted to, and then decreased. And it is squishy and soft. I wove in all the ends, so I'm looking forward to getting this in the mail to him. I think Mom and I are going to try to send his package to him next week. So I'm excited to pass on some love to little man. We probably won't see him until January or February, so I want to go ahead and get this in the mail to her. But it's soft and it's squishy, and it was just the perfect TV knitting project that I could just sit and watch and not have to think about and not have to really look at too much. So it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I knit this with worsted weight yarn on US 9s. So it gave a little bit of a more open texture. I did quickly steam block this. I just pinned it out, ran my steam iron over it. It didn't give it quite as much drape as I wanted it to, but it's gonna go through the wash. It's gonna get thrown up on. It's gonna get nasty. So I figure it will be fine. So there's my first finished object. My next finished object are a pair of socks for Richard. I named these Richard's Baby Yoda Socks just because the one sock looks slightly longer than the other. Okay, no, that's just how they were sitting. Okay. Anyway, these remind me of Grogu, the green and the brown and everything from The Mandalorian. We are big Star Wars fans in this house, so we have watched The Mandalorian. I'm really looking forward to the new season coming out in December, and we are already planning on rewatching the episodes so that we are set to go when they come out. But yeah, so I knit these. This is actually Turquoise Jaquard by Patons Kroy. And then I just had black for the heels, toes, and cuffs that I popped in there. I did a fish lips kiss heel. I do 60 stitch foot for him, just a regular wedge toe. And then I did, I think it's 12 rows of leg and 12 rows of cuff maybe, or 15 and 15, one or the other, something like that. So he got a pair of shorty socks, and he will be happy now because he's been trying to steal these to wear. So he can have them now. I think that's it about those socks. So we'll go on to my half object. These are a pair of socks for me. This yarn you've seen before. I've knit a pair of socks for this before that Richard has inherited. This is On the Other Side by Bad Wolf Girl Studios. This is based on the villain from The Princess and the Frog. So the voodoo man. I can't remember, Doctor something. And I just love this yarn. I love how it pools. I love how the black like snakes through, and it just gives you very Halloween-y vibes. So I did a wedge toe. I did a 56 stitch body. I did a heel flap and gusset, and just did the slip stitch, heel flap, nothing fancy. And then I did 5 rows of leg and 15 rows of cuff. So they will fit me and no one else. And in my Halloween bag, because you can't knit Halloween socks without a Halloween bag. So I should probably get a Christmas bag because I don't have a Christmas sock bag. I have the second sock, and I am ready for the gusset increases to start. I've got my little bat stitch marker. This is actually a, I'll put that a little better, Quarter Thorn and Roses stitch marker from Fangirl Fibers, but I thought it matched, so. And I'm ready for those increases, and I will have enough for that and probably one of the squares in my crocheted granny square blanket. I'm pretty sure I already have yarn for this in my Cozy Memories bag. I haven't worked on my scrappy projects in months, so I need to just dig those out and work on a few of those. You'll see why I haven't. I've started Christmas presents. Really, I should have started them a while ago, but you know, you do what you can do. So we'll toss that over there. Let's see. I think that was everything I needed on that. Oh, okay. So my first whip is living in my Lila Styles Lord of the Rings bag. You guys have seen this bag a ton. You'll continue to see it a ton because I love it to pieces. And I am knitting this with, I didn't have the ball band with me last time, but I do this time. So I'm gonna show it. This is Undercover Otter. This is the yarn that I won when I participated in the Inclusion Cow from the Knitted Bean podcast, Echo. And so this was one of the colorways I ordered. So it's Undercover Otter, and it's in their Slasher Sock 2.0 base. It's 75-25. 75% superwash virgin wool, 25% nylon, 100 grams for 437 yards. And the colorway is Viren? Who knows? It's gorgeous. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So this is turning into a Muscleburro or Muscleburro hat by, oh goodness, who wrote that pattern? I do not remember. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. So I was really worried about the cast on, won't lie. I've never done any type of small cast on like this in knitting before. And so I was like, well, I don't know. You know, I thought about just doing a long tail cast on and just having this be the inside of the hat. No one would know. And then my friend Gretchen was like, hey, this isn't really as scary as you think it's gonna be. Just do it. And so I did. I used the Very Pink Knits crocheted pinhole cast on tutorial, and I really liked it. It was really easy. She did it in slow motion, so I was really able to just follow along and do exactly what I needed to do. And this is actually the second one of these I have knit. So I got a little bit farther than this, and I'll pop a picture up here of the one that I ripped out, and I just did not like the fabric I was getting. So I'll show you guys up close. The fabric I was getting on the last one was just too loose. I was not a fan of how my stitches looked and how really see-through the fabric was. I was using a US 3, and I know I'm learning my gauge. Every time I've swatched recently for anything, I've had to go down at least 2 needle sizes. I should have just started with the US 2s. So I ripped it out, redid the cast on, and am using US 2s now, and I think it's going to be a better fit. I am knitting the US medium, or the US medium, the adult medium. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works out. I have to have it done by the 30th of October, I believe, to enter into the Show Me Your Muscleburro knit along that's hosted by Jen of the Crafted Pearl and the girls over at the We Share Needles podcast. So I am woefully behind on podcasts, and I really need to get caught up. I've just been reading or watching TV and not really watching those podcasts. So I just need to sit down and get caught up on everybody's podcasts again. So I'm really enjoying this. Now I have to knit, I believe, just round and round in a circle for like 18 inches. I don't want to give away the secret sauce of the recipe, or of the pattern, but you cast on, you knit out, you knit a tube, and then you decrease, and that is what gives you that double thick hat. And so I'm really looking forward to finishing this. I have plans for at least 2 more of these. Not that I'll get those done in time for the knit along by any means, but I have 2 more that I would like to knit before Christmas. So I need to get to moving on that. I took it with me to therapy, but while I was in the waiting room, but there's a little boy in there who his brother is there for therapy. And he's just the sweetest little toddler ever. And he and I sat down and played together instead of me working on my hat, because you can't say no when a 16-month-old walks over to you and wants you to hold them. Like, you just can't say no to him. He's a sweetie. And it's nice to get baby snuggles, because William's kind of past baby snuggle stage. You know, he's 3, he's a big boy now, and so it's kind of nice to get those little baby snuggles and smell little baby heads, because I miss that smell. Okay, next up is a Christmas gift. So I started the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits for my niece, Reese. And she will be 2 in December. So I did the 2 to 4 year size. I did my first ever provisional cast on. And this is a free pattern, so I don't care to talk about it too much. But what you do is you do a provisional cast on, you knit out, and then you knit the side, pick up stitches along the back, and then pick up the provisional cast on and start working your raglan decreases down. So I'll hold this up like this so you can see. I'd never done something like this before, so I was a little intimidated, and my provisional cast on's not the prettiest, but I'll be able to just go in and weave that together and it'll look nicer. I am using yarn from Stash. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I know it's a worsted weight acrylic, and I know that it'll soften up because I went ahead and did a gauge swatch and blocked it to make sure that it would be soft. I didn't want her to have something that was going to be scratchy. So I'm doing the 2 to 4 year size, and I'm just working on the increases now. I've got little tiny sleeve caps, if I can get them to line up. So that's, you know, kind of what it'll look like. And there's the back. So I am hoping to have the body done when I talk to you guys next. I actually had to go down 2 needle sizes for this pattern. So it's recommended US 8 for the larger needles. I ended up on a US 6 to get gauge. So hopefully it will work out and it will fit her. I just wanted to go ahead and get her Christmas present done. I am scaling back the amount of Christmas presents that I'm doing this year, but I am knitting for a few people that I believe are very knit worthy. I used to make just about something for everyone, and I've really scaled that back in the last several years. But I am still doing quite a bit of Christmas knitting this year. So speaking of Christmas knitting, so I try every year to do a present for all of my kids' teachers. So this year, that will be Jade's homeroom teacher, Jade's sped teacher, Jade's 2 paras in her sped room, William's teacher, and William's 2 paras, along with some family that I'm planning on knitting these for. So I found this at Joann's. I'd actually gone for a solid color. I was looking for like red or green or even like a navy in this big cone. And they had this. They had more of like a vintagey Christmas vibes with a little bit darker green, and it was like a, I don't know, like a yellow, like a mustard color and red, and it wasn't what I was looking for. And then they had a white, or they had like one that was fall colors, and so I went ahead and went with this. And what I try to do is I try to knit at least 2 washcloths for them every year. So I've gotten 1 done so far. And I figured out, I made a list of everyone I wanted to make washcloths for, and I need 20. So I'm going to do 10 in this Christmas fabric or Christmas color. And then I'm going to do 10 that aren't Christmas. That way, if I end up giving a washcloth to someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, or if they don't want to use the washcloth that has Christmas colors after Christmas, they have another option. And then I'm planning on doing some kitchen towels. Not knitted though. I'll grab one eventually and bring it and show you guys on the podcast what I'm talking about with those. So, but yeah, there's my first washcloth. Like I said, I need to do 2 of these a week. They take me about an hour to do, so it's not that big of a deal. I did this the other day while we were watching TV, and I'll probably cast on one tonight. I have plenty of yarn to do the 10 that I need. I'm doing them on a US 7. So I'll have plenty left, and then my mom and I have a bag of just dishcloth yarn at her house, so I'll just be able to go through, find a bunch of them, and just whip out 10 of those. So it won't take me very long to get those ready, but my goal is to have those done by the end of November. I'd like to have all the dishcloths done, ends woven in, everything by the end of November. I'm really going to try hard this year to not be doing projects on my way to places. I'm notorious for working on presents or like weaving in ends in the driveway before I throw them in their gift bag and someone goes and opens them. So I'm trying really hard not to do that this year. We'll see. Is it probably going to happen? Yeah, but you know, good intentions, right? Good intentions. So as I said at the beginning of the episode, I am going to try to do Vlogtober. And it'll be just a weekly vlog where you'll see little snippets of my day. They probably won't be more than 15 or 20 minutes. Like I said, I kind of lead a boring life. Not a whole lot that I do. Cook, clean, read, play with my kids, knit. Get kind of monotonous on a vlog every day. But there are a few things that we're planning on doing during October that would be fun. Jade has a birthday. So there'll be several things that we'll get to do that will be fun. So boy, I can't talk today, guys. This is the end of the crafty content. I'm going to talk about books and life update, and then we'll be done. So if you're just here for the crafting content, we will see you later. I hope that you stay healthy, happy, and safe, and we will see you in 2 weeks. I will be doing regular podcasts along with the vlogs. So that was what I was trying to get at this whole time. So we'll see you later. Okay, let's talk books. Okay, well, let me get situated, sorry. All right, so I read 3 books that I want to talk about since I've seen you guys. The first one was called Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. And this was one of those that popped up on my Kindle, and it was like, if you like Of Court of Thorn and Roses and you like Cruel Prince, you'll love this author type of deal. So I caved and I bought the book. It was like $1.99. And I did enjoy the book. Basically, it's about a girl who lives in a town, and they, I believe it's 100 years, have to send a girl over to live with the elves. This girl ends up with magic, magically, obviously. And it's about this girl that ends up going and becoming the bride of the Elf King over in the other world, and about her life. And I enjoyed it. It was one of those, just a typical fantasy romance book. Not very high in the smut scale. I would say 16 years or older could definitely read this book and be fine. But I did enjoy it. I read it in like 3 days. I haven't gotten as much reading time recently, so 3 days is pretty good for a book. Really the only reading time I've gotten is before bed, which is why I haven't been reading as many actual books, because my reading light that I got one of those like ones that clips and you know you can click on. I thought I was getting one where I could have it be highlight or low light. Well, I got one that was 3 different colors of light. I misunderstood what I was ordering. So it's hard for me to read in bed because it bothers Richard. So I haven't been reading as many books, but I have one that I have to read because it's one Gretchen recommended to me. I got it from the library a couple weeks ago and I just haven't started it yet. So I just need to sit down and start it because she says they're really good. It's called A Curious Beginning. I don't remember the author. I'll put it down here. But it looks like a good book. So I'm excited to give it a try. And then the other books I want to talk about, I jumped on the Touch of Darkness bandwagon, the Scarlett St. Clair book. These are books that are a modern day telling of the story of Hades and Persephone from Greek mythology. I will say this, so this author is doing something that I really like, and I wish a couple of other authors, Jennifer L. Armentrout, I'm speaking to you, would pick up on. So she's writing the series twice. She wrote the series, or is writing the series from Persephone's point of view, and then she's turning around and she's writing the series from Hades' point of view. And I'm really enjoying that. I wish the books would come out in tandem together, but they are not, which is fine. So I read the first book, A Touch of Darkness. A friend of mine, Belicia, recommended it, and I enjoyed it. It was a good book. I found Persephone a little whiny, but given how she was raised in the book and everything, I can understand why she would be that way. And then I read The Game of Fate, which is the first book from Hades' point of view. I actually preferred Hades' point of view to Persephone's, and I have a feeling that's going to be how it's going to go. I just finished listening to the second book in Persephone's point of view, and again, I found her very whiny, and I found her like you just wanted to smack her upside the head, which I know most of those female characters at some point or another, they're like, really guys, come on. But it was some of the choices that she made. I was like, really, you didn't have to do that. And again, I know these are fictional characters. You don't need to remind me. Richard reminds me all the time. But I just really preferred the Hades point of view. So I'm looking forward to the second book coming out in his point of view. I'm on hold for the third book on the Libby app for audiobook. So hopefully I will get that. I think I've got like a 12-week wait time, so it'll be a while before I get that book back. I did try to read The Wicked King, the second book in the Cruel Prince series, and I got a couple chapters in and I just was not feeling it. I'm not sure why, because I enjoyed the first book, but I just was not feeling it, so I just went ahead and returned it. You know, we've talked about this before. I have such little knitting time, listen to me. Y'all, I'm so tired. Anyway, I have such little reading time as it is that I'm not going to read something that I don't enjoy. I have little knitting time too, but you know, now that I separate it between reading and knitting time. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it for books. And we'll do a quick life update and then I'll let you guys go. Life, not a whole lot has happened. I ran my 11 miles. That was rough. That was a rough run. Way harder than I thought it was going to be, which was a little disappointing, to be quite honest with you. I was really sore the next day, really sore. I don't think I drank enough water, which was part of the problem. And there's just 4 of us left in our group, and usually we talk and chat and everything, and we were just all real quiet that run. I think next time I'm going to take my headphones with me because I get too much in my own head. It's part of the reason I can't run by myself. at least for more than a couple miles. I get into my own head and I start thinking about things, and I was able to run in the last half mile, and I did something that my old cross country coach used to tell me. He told me to leave it on the pavement, and you know, I've been struggling with some mommy guilt and some things with just not knowing how to help William any more than I already am, and so it was kind of nice to be able to just leave that on the pavement for that last half mile. And I ran as hard as I could for that last half mile, which might be why I hurt so bad, because I just run 11 miles and then I booked it for that last half. So we've got 2 weeks and then we run 13. So I will actually record before we run the 13. We'll run the full distance before the race. And then we have 2 more weeks and then we have race day. So I'm excited and I'm nervous, and I'm looking forward to figuring out how running is going to continue to fit into my life. But other than that, the kids are doing really well. William got a haircut. I'll pop his picture in here. I chopped all his curls off. That was very hard for me to do, but he hates having his hair cut, hates having it washed. He's a typical 3-year-old. Nobody likes their hair being done at 3. So I had him cut it as short as they could with the scissors. That way we won't have to go get it cut again for a while. The curls will grow back. So, but he looks like such a little grown-up man now instead of a little toddler. It really made him look a lot older. So that was a little hard for me to realize. But other than that, the girls are doing great. They're really enjoying school. William is enjoying school. We have open house tonight for Jade. So we'll go see some of the things she's been working on. She's been really excited for us to come see what all she's been doing at school. Her therapy is going really well. She's so close to being able to ride a 2-wheel bike. I'm so excited for her. She does physical therapy because she was a toe walker as a toddler, and she actually has somewhat malformed feet now because of all the toe walking that she did. She toe walked to the point that we didn't realize it, because she would wear her tennis shoes and she would only be off the ground by like this far. So if you were looking down at her, she looked like she was standing flat-footed when she really wasn't. So hopefully with the physical therapy and the braces that she wears, we won't have to have surgery later on in life, but there is a possibility that we will. But anyway, so it's a big deal that she is able to ride a bike. That's a huge deal. I'm really excited for her that she's so close to riding that 2-wheel bike without any help. So she's getting to be a big girl. So yeah, I think that's about it. At this point, I'm just rambling on. Like I said, I'm real tired. I've been sleeping. I've just not been sleeping well. We're getting to that point where I think we need a new mattress. So we've been looking into getting a new bed, and I think that will help things, because neither one of us have been sleeping really great. So I have a feeling it's just time for a new bed. So anyway, I will see you guys actually tomorrow if you like vlogs, because I will start recording tomorrow for Vlogtober. If you don't, that's okay. I know vlogs are not for everyone. I like watching certain ones and other ones I don't. Mine are basically just going to be lots of little snippets of my day. Getting Bub off the bus, drinking copious amounts of coffee and tea, probably walking. I like to go walking sometimes. And yeah, so if not, I will see you in 2 weeks for our next scheduled episode. I hope you all are healthy, happy, and safe, and I will see you later. Bye.
Oh.